Welcome to an edition that dares to rewrite what we think we know about privacy in Turkish show business. This is your home for depth, rigor, and carefully sourced revelations, secrets behind the stars. In every era, certain names glow because they never take the messy route, they build their image on work and restraint. Gökberk Yıldırım has always been one of those names. Quiet. Composed. Almost impossible to crack. And yet, the hum of Istanbul's gossip corridors has shifted into a deeper resonance, the kind that signals a continental drift beneath the surface of a public figure's life. What began as a faint murmur about a relationship, paired with the familiar murky echoes of on-screen pairings fans never stop romanticizing, has hardened into something bolder, darker, and far more complicated. Tonight is not about scripts or ratings. Tonight is about a name whispered by a lawyer, about a third presence, who isn't who anyone assumed, and about two starkly different scenarios that could mark the end of an era for a couple who made discretion look effortless. Before we step into this maze of sealed statements and raw exhaustion, a genuine invitation. If you value this brand of thoughtful, precise analysis that respects human complexity, subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars. Turn on notifications so the real story finds you before rumor does. And if you want to become the pillar of this project, so we can share the confidential context that can't live in public, tap Join right now. Your membership makes it possible for us to pursue the threads others leave dangling. Silence, please. The media trial of Gökberk Yıldırım is about to begin, though he himself has yet to utter a single word. To grasp the current uproar, we must rewind to the quiet that came before it. For years, Gökberk balanced his career on two unwavering pillars, talent and secrecy. But in recent weeks, that secrecy stopped looking like a stylistic choice and started feeling like an alarm. The sharp-eyed watchers of Istanbul's social fabric noticed the hairline fractures first. The vanishing of joint appearances with Cemre Arda, the absence of once routine interactions across their digital lives, and a silence so tangible at public events that his solitude spoke louder than any press line. While the papers tried to assemble a picture, resurrecting old fantasies about screen chemistry with former partners, speculating about wedding bells, crisis talks, quiet reconciliations, the truth was taking shape behind closed doors, far from the flash. No declarations. No pointed gestures. Just quiet. And in the language of Secrets Behind the Stars, long stretches of quiet from a high-profile couple often signal a storm with lawyers at the helm. Soon the whispers of an amicable separation began. That delicate euphemism celebrities deploy when they need time to negotiate the terms of surrender. But that image, a tidy sunset, no screaming, no flames, was about to be shattered by a detail no one anticipated. Here is where the tale swerves, and it does so with the precision of a psychological thriller. According to fresh allegations received by our newsroom, the narrative of drifting apart was punctured by a leak connected to the couple's legal environment. It is said that a lawyer, one entrusted with the fragile threads of this separation process, let a name surface in a conversation within their inner circle. That detail, if accurate, changes the geometry entirely. We are no longer discussing the abstract drought of time or the blur of work. We are talking about a person. But the twist, the cruel surprise, is that the name in question does not belong to an actress, a model, or anyone sinfully familiar to the spotlight. The rumors point, instead, to someone who has been there all along, a non-celebrity the couple trusted, a friend, a collaborator, someone with unguarded access to their private rooms and unfiltered moods. The effect was explosive. If there was betrayal, it did not fall from a distant star, it rose from within the fortress. A Trojan horse. A shadow weaving through the spaces that felt safest. And so the fandom began to ask, with an ache that echoed across platforms, who is this quiet figure who managed to destabilize what looked, to outsiders, indestructible? We pause here, Secrets Behind the Stars family, for a question that cuts close. Are crises triggered by close, non-famous figures more devastating than those involving two celebrities? Could the name that slipped be a misunderstanding, inflated and weaponized by the cold air of legal strategy? Tell us what you think in the comments. Your careful reads often illuminate corners we haven't reached yet. And if this kind of thoughtful, empathetic deep dive matters to you, strike that like. If you want us to keep traveling, phoning, verifying, and connecting the dots before the rest realize there's a pattern, tap join. That's the heartbeat that keeps this work alive. Help us hold the line of quality that defines secrets behind the stars. For now, the studios, sets, and corridors of Istanbul are split between two theories, two tight scripts overlaying a very real heartbreak. The catalyst. This view suggests the partnership already carried fractures. Small, manageable, temporarily ignored, until the presence of this third person accelerated the collapse. In this reading, the proximity of that non-famous individual to both Gökberk and Cemre created a toxic gradient, misunderstanding smoldering into sparks, or, in the worst case, an emotional infidelity that ruptured trust. Because this person was trusted, the cut runs twice as deep, and the legal choreography becomes both more intense and more careful. The silent erosion. The second view is less cinematic but no less lethal. Perhaps the name whispered by a lawyer is a symptom, not the disease. This theory, backed by sources with quiet access, argues that Gökberk's relentless work rhythm, marathon shoots, constant transfers between cities, and the weight of accumulating fatigue formed a canyon that neither calendar nor apology could bridge. Within that hollow, any new closeness, an innocent friendship, a well-meaning collaborator, could be distorted into a threat. Not because malice existed, but because connection had died of neglect. What began as temporary exhaustion congealed into parallel lives, no shared points, no shared time, just inertia masquerading as normal. Through it all, Gökberk has not changed his stance. He has said nothing. For some critics, that quiet is a refusal to feed rumor with the meat of response. For others, it is a precise legal strategy. In a delicate separation, what remains unsaid cannot be bent against you. Colleagues. Among them names who have carried projects on their backs with him during a golden run, say his work ethic did not so much as flinch. No late arrivals. No flares of temper on set. A man compartmentalizing enough to look unreal. But here at Secrets Behind the Stars, we ask, is that calm authentic, or a careful facade sheltering a mind weathering a storm? His refusal to turn his pain into spectacle is admirable. It is also the fuel that keeps the rumor machine roaring. If you do not tell your version, the world drafts one for you. One detail we could not ignore, the behavior of their circle. This is not the usual social media trench war where friends choose sides and lob pointed captions. What we see is a collective retreat. Mutual friends have stopped posting. They step sideways when questions come. There is, if you listen closely, the rhythm of a pact of silence. In the language of Istanbul's elite, synchronized quiet means the matter is grave and tender, not a quick, scorched earth tale for public consumption. This cadence strengthens the theory that there was no screaming match, no theatrical split, just a slow, mutual acknowledgement that the end might already be here. As for the name itself, the one said to have slipped from a lawyer's lips, some close to the couple suggest, off the record, that an innocent role is being magnified. A person caught in the crossfire of a bond that was already unraveling. Is this third figure a scapegoat? A narrative plaster to avoid saying the hardest sentence two people can speak, that the love wasn't enough anymore? Here lies the heart of gossip as a cultural ritual. Incomplete data is a dangerous solvent. A name invoked in a legal frame can signify many things: a witness, a confidant, an administrative point, a formality. Without an official statement, that name is only a silhouette carrying the ballast of our projections. What cannot be denied is that Gökberk stands at a crossroads. A single sentence from him, or from Cemre Arda, could halt the avalanche or confirm the end of an age. And yet, judging by their track record, that sentence may never arrive. Or if it does, it will come polished, pared down, chilled by legal caution, dropped into the world only after every other piece has settled. Until then, the industry will murmur about the lawyer, the fatigue, and the intruder who may or may not exist in the way we imagine. And we will watch for the quiet signals, the ones that say more than press releases ever can: a ring absent, a flight taken alone, a caption that lands like a farewell. Before we conclude, a word of thanks for making Secrets Behind the Stars the reference point for celebrity analysis with this nuance and narrative care. If you haven't joined our membership yet, you are missing the angles we only share with our closest circle: timelines, corroborations, the texture beneath the headlines. Click Join to back our independence, to help us keep scrutinizing these stories with the patience they require. Your support helps us travel, make calls, cross-check, and bring you the truth before it dissolves into conjecture. Tap Join now, and stand with us at the front line of clarity. As we close this chronicle of the Gökberk Yıldırım enigma, we're left with a lesson that tastes of steel. Sometimes the breakups that echo the loudest are staged in near total quiet. Not every ending needs pyrotechnics. Some happen grain by grain, night by night, between sets and luggage and dinners that cool without being touched, until a lawyer lets a name fall into the room, and the glass gives way. Is this a definitive end for Gökberk Yıldırım and Cemre Arda, or a passing storm, sharpened by proximity and misread intentions? Time will pick its side. For now, what is not spoken is exactly what everyone hears. Thank you for staying with us through this long look into a story shaped by restraint, work, and the brutal arithmetic of time. If this episode made you reflect on how fragile love can be beneath the floodlights, like, share, and subscribe. And consider joining our family by pressing Join. Your membership is the force that keeps Secrets Behind the Stars burning bright. We'll see you in the next exclusive, always here, on your favorite channel, Secrets Behind the Stars.